All right, everybody, I'm spreading the breaking news that TheQuartering is a giant in public. So here we go. Hello, everybody. I have breaking news. TheQuartering is a giant. Thank you. That's all.
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
That was a very cringeworthy moment for me, and I don't use that word lightly. But the context of it has aged pretty well. So, hey, Jeremy. Hi, TheQuartering. How you doing? It's interesting that I'm making a video on you because I never thought I would again, to be quite frank with you. And even as of about 24 hours ago, I wasn't going to make a video. But before I get into everything that's going on, before I get into the situation, I need to give a little backstory on Jeremy and my interactions with him. I first got in contact with TheQuartering because he hit me up during 2018 during the whole Diablo Immortal thing. Both of our channels were blowing up at the time, talking about the whole Diablo Immortal and Fallout 76 disasters that were going on. And he had me featured in his the worst of 2018 video. He had me in there. He had up a couple other creators. I think he had Wang in there as well. And I was fine with him at the time. You know, I knew he was conservative and whatever. And I guess you could even say a grifter. But I'm like, whatever. We're just talking about games here. And I was in that video. But then I started to notice with Jeremy that he was just disingenuous literally about everything. And then him and I didn't see eye to eye. And he began to hate me and I began to hate him. And then he was in a live stream one time of mine, completely drunk, and said that he drank my gastric bypass juices. I never had gastric bypass, and then secondly, him saying that he drank the juices, that was supposed to be an own at me. That just makes you seem like a really creepy, strange dude, which you are, but using that as like a comeback to me was pretty interesting. He also, too, when I called him out for stuff, lied and said that I scammed my parents out of this house. He's like everyone else in that sphere, right? It's just whatever you need to say to get clicks. It doesn't matter who it damages. You just say it. And that's what has been his bread and butter. Now, I have no love for this person whatsoever. They're a scam artist, but this is before anyone knew that they were a scam artist. He was dead naming Keffels, which she's a transgender woman. And I remember he did it multiple times, and I said that maybe Meta PCs should look into their sponsorship with him, and that was it. I didn't send anything formal. I didn't try to take anything down. I've never flagged a quartering video, but you would have made it like I went to Meta PC's headquarters and tried to hold them hostage with the way Jeremy acted. You're going against free speech, and you're going to go after someone's sponsors because you don't agree with them. Think about that now, and let's fast forward to 2026. So if you're out of the loop with him, and I have to be vague about this because he's on a banning spree, okay? Or he's on a flagging spree, I mean to say. Jeremy has had a fallout with Kino Casino. Now, Lord knows I have zero love for them. I can't stand them. But what they were saying about him is the most softball thing ever. And here is the way I have to say it so he doesn't flag my video. It's about his extracurricular activities in the bedroom with his wife and a supposed extra person who may or may not have a criminal background. So Kino Casino was putting this out there. Listen, I know they will lie on anybody's name for content firsthand, but there is evidence that backs this up. That TheQuartering is doing this in his bedroom, and this guy that he is doing this in his bedroom with his wife has a history, and TheQuartering lost his mind with this, essentially. And the guy who is the bastion of free speech, on paper, we all knew that Jeremy wasn't, was going around flagging videos and getting them taken down. As a matter of fact, he got the Kino Casino Clips channel and Andy Worski's channel taken down for ban evading. Now, he swore up and down that he didn't do any of this, and he swore that everyone was just jumping to conclusions. But then he was live streaming, and you know how with browsers like Chrome and whatever the hell else you use, Edge, it'll show your most recent visits, like in the top bar where you type in wherever the hell you want to go, right? And here is what you saw. Here is a clip, and I'll have a zoomed in image so you could see clearly.
Whoops, not that one. Let's see here.
I'm the pants pisser.
And there it is. There is literally the email of Jeremy, I believe with his unsleeved media account. I'm not sure, but it's like, it's an obscure email that he was hoping that no one would catch on to, of him, thanks for the YouTube thing, thanks for the report, meaning that he was actively recently reporting channels. He could say whatever else he wants to, but there is no way when you open up that top bar in your browser, it shows the most recent things. Why would that be there, Jeremy? Why would that be there? And the banger was last night I was on a stream, right? And we were watching a list of clips, and she had up where Josh Moon was talking about TheQuartering, his wife, and their very special friend. And we were watching it, and it was fascinating to watch because it kind of gives like the whole backstory of it, and how Jeremy is a complete hypocrite and a serial flagger, even though he swore to be against it. And right in the middle, this video is unavailable midstream. And I refreshed it, and the video was taken down for a violation of TOS on YouTube, and they were saying that it involved harassment and bullying. Jeremy has been swearing this is not him, but it just so happens that all of the videos talking about you and what your wife do are the ones that are being taken down. There's just someone in your name, in your honor. I know people have even said that it may be this other guy doing it too that they are involved with, but it doesn't matter. This is your situation. This is something that you're doing, and you are the guy that always swore that you would never do things like this, doing things like this because you want to hide what you're doing in your personal life. And the thing about it too, Jeremy, as a person who's been accused of fake, horrible things. This is, you would flag someone because they're saying that your wife is hooking up with another dude? That's it? I have been accused of heinous things that were complete lies. Ask me how many of those videos I flagged. 0. I should have flagged them, but I didn't. You, on the other hand, you're flagging as we speak. What's funny about this is if you remember the whole Mundane Matt situation, where Mundane Matt was on a kill stream. This is during like the blood sports era, which is still kind of a thing, but it's moved over to other platforms besides YouTube. That was the infamous stream that had Ethan Ralph, had Mr. Mediker, Mundane Matt. TheQuartering, of course, came through to grift there and get possibly new viewers. And after Mundane Matt literally had his career destroyed for doing the same exact thing that Jeremy is doing right now, Jeremy gave this speech. I'm going to play it in full. It's about a minute and change. And then we'll come back and I'll give you my take on it.
You're not interested in doing better. You're not interested in changing anything. You're not interested in atoning for the things that you've done on YouTube. And I'm not sure that anyone even really wants to forgive you. I don't blame them. What you did to other YouTube content creators was, again, breaking the golden rule. I wish you the best in your life. Your wife has a son now, or a daughter, I'm told. Good for her and the father and stuff like that. And I appreciate that. But you've got to get off this YouTube thing and just move on. I said this a year ago in one of my videos, I think 2 years ago. It just isn't for you anymore. I don't see a redemption arc here because you're unwilling to redeem yourself. You're unwilling to get back to work. You're still obsessing about everybody else. And YouTube is just a fleeting moment. If my channel makes it through this Christmas, it'll be a huge miracle. But dwelling on other people is a recipe for continued failure, Matt. Focus on yourself. Focus on your wife's child. Focus on making things better off the internet. And I think you'll find that other things will fall in place.
Hey, Jeremy, it was like back then you were giving yourself advice now. You were all over Mundane Matt for flagging and how it was a mortal sin to flag. And it was like an unwritten code that no matter what, that you don't flag people. And you said, hey, man, it's time for you to move on from YouTube. Do something else with your life because this isn't for you. You can't come back from this. And here you are doing the same thing. But I've noticed this with these people. They don't really actually stand for anything. They will accuse you of things and shame you for things and then turn around and do the same exact thing and not expect the same repercussions for it. And here we are, Jeremy doing just that. Pointing the finger at people like Mundane Matt, shaming them. And I'm not saying Mundane Matt was right. He wasn't. But you're doing the same thing right now and actively still doing it. So it's time for you to step away, Jeremy, according to your own words. So it'll be interesting to see how Jeremy's audience reacts to this. I think a big reason why he's obsessed with jumping in front of this and going full in on this Streisand effect is I think his audience is cooling off and noticing that Jeremy is boring, has no charisma, and he's just a right-wing grifter. Even if people like the affirmation from right-wing grifters, he's like not a good vessel to get the information from. He's now a Christian. He's a newly founded Christian who wears a cross every day. And I do think that is the reason why Jeremy is so obsessed with trying to wipe his bedroom affairs from the internet because he has to seem like a squeaky clean Christian boy. But anyway you slice it, Jeremy, I will be shocked if you could continue to be this way and you keep your audience. Now, who knows, man? There's been other people who've been accused of terrible things, and a lot of times their audience is like, you know what? I don't care. It's not about them being ethical. It's just about them hating who I hate and saying what I want them to say. And if this content creator says what I want them to say, I will continue to watch them. But this is the difference with this, though, is that you went after Kino Casino, who is vastly more relevant than you. I can't stand them, but that's just a fact. I also don't think, as much as I hate them, that their Clips channel should have been taken down. If nothing else, it made for great stream fodder, especially when they talked about Phil. And except in very extreme situations, I don't agree with flagging. But here you are, the person that stood against this, that stood on the grave of Mundane Matt's career, saying that flagging is wrong, and here you are still actively doing the same thing. If that isn't career ending, I don't know what is, but it should be. And there's a decent chance it will be, especially because he went after Kino Casino, who is way more relevant than him, sub numbers aside. This is Rich of reviewtechusa signing out. Have a good one. We all knew you were a hypocrite, Jeremy, but now you've just proved it. Congratulations.
I just peed in my basement.